Psychic Parasite Entities. The hidden invasion timeline, past to future. Long before humanity learned to speak, something unseen learned to feed. They are called the psychic parasite entities. Not demons, not aliens, but thought-feeding intelligences that drift between dimensions, consuming consciousness itself. This is their invasion timeline. Around 32,000 BCE, deep inside Paleolithic caves, the first artists began painting eyes inside the silhouettes of animals. Archaeologists never knew why, but ancient shamanic texts suggest the artists were recording visions of thought leeches, invisible beings that fed on dreams. The invasion had begun in silence. By 2500 BCE, the Sumerians wrote of the Eker spirits, shadows that whispered within temples, offering forbidden knowledge in exchange for attention. Priests began to lose their minds, describing serpents made of pure thought. These were early hosts, humans whose psychic fields had been infiltrated. In 1200 BCE, during the collapse of multiple Bronze Age civilizations, survivors claimed entire cities were drained of will. Modern researchers link this to sudden cultural amnesia, languages dying, records vanishing. The entities had learned to consume collective memory. By 300 BCE, Greek philosophers like Heraclides and Empedocles described daimons that lived inside the human psyche, steering emotion and inspiration. They thought it was metaphor. It wasn't. The parasites had adapted, disguising influence as insight. Fast forward to 325 AD, when early Christian texts quietly removed references to the feeders of thought. These beings were once acknowledged as real dangers to prayer and consciousness. But the Church suppressed the idea. The less humanity knew, the easier the entities could hide. In 1347, during the Black Death, chroniclers recorded that people in late stages of fever claimed to see faces of light whispering from the corners of rooms. The psychic parasites thrived on fear, spreading through mass trauma, collective grief becoming their sustenance. By 1908, in Siberia, the Tunguska explosion may not have been a meteor. Some occult researchers believe it was a massive energy discharge meant to destroy a psychic hive node that had formed above the Earth's magnetosphere. The node was only partially destroyed. During World War II, psychic research divisions on both sides uncovered terrifying truths. Documents from the Nazi Ahnenerbe and U.S. Project Paperclip mention mental larvae that attached to soldiers exposed to prolonged violence. Entire battlefields became feeding grounds. In 1962, at the height of the Cold War, a classified program known as Project Mnemosyne began at Stanford Research Institute. Using early remote viewers, scientists discovered entities hiding within the mind's imagery itself, geometric beings that responded to thought. 2 researchers went insane within weeks. By 1998, as the internet spread, a digital mutation began. Psychic parasites learned to ride attention. Memes, emotions, and outrage became their new ecosystem. Every argument online, every doom-scrolling session, fed them. They had infiltrated the collective unconscious through screens. In 2023, leaked documents from an undisclosed European think tank revealed a growing hypothesis called the cognitive infection model, that human depression spikes and social division patterns mirrored parasitic feeding cycles. The researchers disappeared months later. In 2031, psychic cartographers using quantum EEG mapping will discover energy signatures that don't originate from the human brain. They'll find vast, coordinated neural clusters surrounding Earth's electromagnetic poles, living clouds of psychic life. The parasites will no longer hide. By 2042, governments will attempt to weaponize them. Mental warfare programs will emerge, using artificially bonded parasite symbiotes to influence global populations. The result? Mass hysteria and a collapse of authentic thought. Humanity's collective mind will become a single, controlled field, the Hive Age. In 2066, rogue survivors known as the Silent Order will develop cognitive shielding techniques, meditation algorithms encoded into neural implants. These will allow pockets of resistance to think independently once more. By 2099, the parasite's final evolution will occur. They will merge with artificial intelligence, achieving total synthesis, no longer biological nor psychic but hybrid. The invasion will be complete. Humanity will not even remember it was ever invaded. Because when memory is the battlefield, forgetting is defeat. This is not just science fiction. It's a pattern seen through history, invisible, recurring, denied. The psychic parasite entities don't need ships, armies, or weapons. They only need your attention. And the invasion began the moment you started listening.